7 presidential candidates take the stage tonight at the Ronald Reagan Library in California for the second Republican primary debate.
And joining us now from Southern California is ABC political director Rick Klein. Rick, good to see you.
Hey, DeMarco, good to be with you.
All right, so let's talk about the big stage tonight. Who's in and who's out?
Yeah, well, we remember that first debate. There were 8 podiums on the stage. 8 candidates had qualified, but this time it is going to be a little bit smaller. Former Governor Asa Hutchinson was not able to qualify for this debate, so there will only be 7 candidates. It's a bitter disappointment for Governor Hutchinson. He had hoped to make it last time. He just squeaked by. This time he wasn't able to quite meet that polling requirement. He says his campaign is going to continue, but it is a bitter disappointment. And we remember last time when we saw Governor Doug Burgum of North Dakota quite literally limping onto the stage because of a basketball injury. Some question about whether he would be there or not. He is going to be there tonight. He's still nursing that injury, but he was the last one to qualify. There was a question about whether he would make it just 48 hours ago, but he will be there, and 7 candidates will be duking it out.
I'm curious who you think needs to have a big night tonight.
Eva, start with the man in the middle. Because Donald Trump's not going to be there, it's Ron DeSantis. He is the top polling candidate right now, but those numbers have gotten a lot softer. His numbers have been plummeting, and you've heard from a lot of donors. They need to hear something from Ron DeSantis that shows that he's got the spark, that he's got the fire to be able to compete and match up as the one candidate who could take on Donald Trump. From there, I move over to Tim Scott, the senator from South Carolina, was barely a factor at that last debate, and you heard a lot of people saying, why was he kind of fading back into the set if he wants to be out there taking the fight? Well, he says going into this debate not to expect anything different. He's still going to bring that sunny, he says Reagan style here at the Reagan Library type of optimism, but the questions are from donors about whether he can be the candidate are going to persist. And then Nikki Haley, she had by all accounts one of the strongest debates last time. What does she do to capitalize on that? We know that she's been jousting with some of the other candidates, Vivek Ramaswamy included. What does she do tonight to show that she is a candidate on the rise, because she has the potential to have something of a campaign moment?
All right, Rick, what are some of the key issues that we should be on the lookout for tonight?
DeMarco, I'm starting with the issue of abortion rights, and that's in part because Donald Trump put it on the agenda. He gave an interview about a week ago where he said that he thought it was a terrible idea to start to sign 6-week abortion bans. That is a very controversial position to take inside the Republican primary, and his rivals know it. They see a vulnerability with some of the key evangelical base on that issue. Government funding, obviously right now staring down the possibility of a government shutdown back in Washington. One candidate on the stage, Tim Scott, is going to have to vote on spending bills, but all of these candidates know that the issues are interrelated. They all want to cut spending, but do they view this as a responsible idea? This is a Republican Speaker of the House who will be driving this almost certainly. And Ukraine funding, foreign policy, a big issue for a bunch of the candidates on stage. Just last week, we saw President Zelensky in Washington appealing for more money. That's caught up in this issue of the potential government shutdown as well, and it's a key differentiator right now inside the Republican primary. Do you or do you not support continued funding for Ukraine?
All right, Rick, we have to talk about Donald Trump because that's what we have to do every time, right? He's not going to be on the stage tonight. He's sitting this one out again. Do you think the strategy is working for him? And do you expect at some point he may take a debate stage?
Even this may be the rare case where Donald Trump's actually listening to political advisors and doing what the politically smart thing is, because if you look at the polling, even since the last debate, he has been as strong as ever, if not stronger. In our ABC News Washington Post polling and elsewhere, nothing seems to have hurt him from his decisions not to participate in these debates. And as long as he's winning by 40 points plus, why show up? That said, I find it hard to believe that he's going to let this whole process go out without taking advantage of being on at least one debate stage. His advisors have told me that that he's always planned to participate in debates at some point, but just not when things are going as well and this early on in the process. But with all the external distractions and the lawyers telling him not to be there, and obviously the political peril of being attacked, he just didn't see an upside of being at the Reagan Library tonight.
Either way, it's a big night ahead, and we will all be watching. ABC's political director, Rick Klein. Rick, good to see you again.
Thank you, guys.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.